Okay, so I'm going to review a new method for doing difference and sums of cubes. Okay, so let's look at an example. 27 x to the 9th minus 125 y to the 12th. Okay, so how do I know that this is a difference in cubes? First, my powers are multiples of 3. If my powers are multiples of 3, that means I'm doing difference in cubes. For sure. That's why we do the cubic roots. Okay? So, I want you to draw a box. Okay, that has 3 sections. So you have 6 boxes. This box is blank. Leave it alone. Don't do anything here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to fill. Then, since we're doing difference of cubes, you need to find the cubic root of every single coefficient and variable. So, first we need to find the cubic root of 27. Use the calculator if you're not sure how to do it. Cubic root of 27 is 3. Then you find the cubic root of x to the 9th. Reminder, cubic root means you divide the power of the x by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. Then you do the same for the second term. Cubic root of 125. Again, use a calculator. It's equal to 5. Cubic root of y to the 12. You divide that power by 3. You should get y to the 4th. Then, the next step, you need to copy your cubic roots into the first square. So, 3x cubed. So, I did nothing. I just copied the cubic roots in my first box. Then you do the same for the second box. You copy your cubic roots into the second box. Then, you take whatever is in this box times itself. So, I'm going to do the 3x cubed times 3x cubed. So, I'm multiplying it by itself. So, 3 times 3 is a 9. X cubed times x cubed. When you multiply variables, you add the powers. So, it'll be x to the 6th. Then, you're going to do the same here. Whatever is in that box times itself. Times itself. So, times 5y to the 4th. So, you're going to get 25y. When you multiply, you add the powers, y to the 8th. Okay? Then, you need to take whatever in that box times whatever in that box, and it goes down here. So you multiply the 2 boxes on the top, and it goes in that guy here in the middle. So 3 times 5 is 15. X cubed times y to the 4th is x cubed y to the 4th. Now, last, always put a plus. Always put the plus. No matter what happens in the world, this is always a plus. Here, this is the opposite of the original sign. So I have a negative here, so it's a positive. It's the opposite of the original sign. Now, this table contains your 2 parentheses. Top parenthesis, 3x cubed. Okay, original sign in the middle. Minus 5y to the 4th. Then your second parenthesis, which is 9x to the 6th plus 15x cubed y to the 4th plus 25y to the 8th. All I've done is copied this as it is in the second parenthesis, and the top goes to the first parenthesis with the original sign in between, and I'm done. Okay, so just to make sure, this was difference of cubes. Sum of cubes will be exactly the same, except this will be a plus. Okay, so this is the difference of cubes and can also apply to the sum, except the original sign will be a plus. Okay, let's practice a little bit of difference of squares. Now, how do I know it's difference of squares? My powers are multiple of 2. That means their all powers are even numbers. Okay, I only have 2 terms minus each other. Okay, so since I'm doing difference of squares, I'm going to still have a box. But this time, I only need a 2 by 2. Okay, 1 will be a minus, 1 will be a plus. Okay, then since I'm doing difference of squares, I'm going to square root everything. Square root of 169, square root of x to the 8th, then I will square root 100, then I will square root y to the power 22, then I will square root z to the 4th. Okay, I will square root everything. So use a calculator. The square root of 169 is 13. Now, since we're doing square roots, I'm dividing the power by 2. Divide the power by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Square root of 100, use a calculator, 10. Divide your power by 2, 11. Divide your power by 2, so 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now I found my square roots. All I gotta do is copy them. So my first term had 13 x to the 4th. My second term had the 10 y to 11 z squared. Then all you gotta do is copy, paste. 13 x to the 4th, 10 y to 11 z squared. That's my first parenthesis. That's my second parenthesis. Copy them nicely. So 13 x to the 4th minus 10 y to the 11th z squared times same exact parenthesis plus 10y 11 z squared. And you're done. Okay, let's do a little bit of factor by grouping. Before I start factoring by grouping, I need to make sure that if I only have the same variable or the same letter, I want to make sure it's in order from greatest power to the least power. Okay? And in this case, it's done for me. If it's not, then you make it in order from the greatest power to the least power. Then, look for any commons between the 4 terms. Okay? So I'm looking here, and every single term has an x. So before I get started, I like to factor my x out. Now, since I factored x out, each of these terms will lose an x. So this will become x cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x minus 16. Now, forget about the x, save it for last. Okay, it's going to go with you to every single step. Then you divide your 4 terms into 2 groups, because we're going to factor by grouping. My first group is the x cubed minus 4x squared. The second group is the 4x minus 16, and always keep the x. Don't forget about it. Okay, so both terms have x. We take the smallest power, in this case will be the x squared. You're going to take it and pull it outside as a factor, a common factor. So, since I pulled x squared out, each of my powers is going to go down by 2, because I already took out 2. Okay? So, here we have x remaining minus 4. The power is a 0, so there's no x left. And that's how you factor these 2 terms. Again, don't forget your x. Okay? Then, you do the next group. You look here, there's no x in the second term, so I just need to factor 4. In your calculator, all you need to do is do the tree, but without the tree, you can still do it in your head, but 16 is 4 times 4. So if I pull a 4 out, I have a 4 left. Okay? So I'm going to pull my 4 outside. So this is gone, so it's only x minus 4, because I pulled one of the 4's out, and I have a 4 left. So now I have my 2 groups. Okay? Don't forget your x. Keep it with you. So now we have the twins. The twins, that means I have identical parentheses. Same exact parentheses. So, I still have my x times whatever my parenthesis is, or the twins, which is x minus 4. Okay, those are my twins. Then my second parenthesis, I'm copying everything that I didn't copy. So I copied that x already, it's here. I copied the twin, so x squared needs a place. And that was a plus. It's been a plus. So plus 4. Now I'm done. Look one more time to see if anything is common. There's nothing common. We're good to go. This is how the factor by grouping should be. One more example in difference of cubes. It was x cubed minus 8. That was one of the questions on the test last Friday. Okay, I'm going to do the same method I used in the previous example. Okay, since I'm doing cubes, I'm dividing my rectangle into 3 places, 6 boxes. Forget about this guy. Okay, I'm going to take the cubic root of x cubed. And then I'm taking the cubic root of 8. Cubic root of 8, use the calculator, it's a 2. Cubic root of x cubed, that means you divide the power by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is a 1, so this is just x. Copy your x, copy your 2. The original sign was a minus, it goes over here. Okay, now, times this guy by itself. X times x, x squared. Times this guy by itself. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Always, always put the plus. Okay, then in the middle, you multiply this guy times that guy, which is 2x. My original sign was a plus, was a minus, so here I'm going to have a plus. It's the opposite of this sign. If that was a minus, that's a plus. And you're done. So my 2 parentheses are, the first parenthesis, x minus 2. The second parenthesis is x squared plus 2x plus 4.